Good day, everybody. Today I'm talking to Mateo Palacio Gómez, who's the co-founder and director of charityBay. Good day, Mateo. How are you?
Hey, Tony. So good to see you. I'm very well. And you? How are you?
Good. Thank you. Good. Thank you, Mateo. And thank you so much for your time, Mateo, today.
It is my pleasure. Actually, thanks for inviting me. It is my honor.
You're most welcome. And Mateo, are you happy for me to move into our first question?
Please, go ahead.
Thank you. Matthew, can you please share a little about yourself, the place you were born, your education, your passion, the things that you enjoy doing, and one thing that the public might not know about you?
Sure. Well, I was born in Colombia. I grew up also in Colombia, in Medellin. Interesting place since I was born in the 1990s. So things were very different as they are right now. When I was studying there, I studied in the German school. So I had the opportunity to have my first approach to languages. Then I studied a bachelor in economics. And then after that, I also had the opportunity to come here around 6 years ago. And well, it has been very interesting since I came here just to study English. And then after that, I went into the entrepreneurship journey.
Excellent, Matthew. And one thing that the public does not know about you, something that you've kept under wraps.
There are many things actually that I have not many times shared, but I feel that one of the passions why I'm doing this is that when I was in Colombia, I decided to volunteer and to give some presents and some other things also to the children in Christmas, as well as volunteer and also sponsor a child and doing some other things that I was doing kind of in the background. Like I was studying economics, I was working in a bank, but inside of me, I really wanted to feel good by helping. So it was something that even nowadays, many of my friends in Colombia didn't know that I was doing.
Excellent, Matthew. And that is very, very encouraging and very positive. Thank you for sharing that. And Matthew, moving on to our next question. Can you please share about your work experiences before you started charityBay, along with your co-founder, and what lessons have you brought forth from your previous work experiences into charityBay?
Sure. Well, in Colombia, I was working mainly in a bank. I was a financial analyst as I studied economics. So that gave me management of numbers and more important than that, this problem solution or try to find different solutions to something and try to think a bit deeper in some of the problems, which is what we have been doing with charityBay. After that, also when I came here to Australia, 1 year after I created my own company, a company of Latin events called Tricolor Events. And when I created that, it was fully empirical. I had no experience about that field at all. I didn't have any idea of how to create an event, music, lighting, anything about that. But what I learned over there is that the best way to learn is just to do the things, and to do is better than perfect. Then that allowed me to have some experience in how to learn as I go and to take the risk to do things.
Excellent. And that's very interesting. Just after coming to Australia, you actually started your own business, and in a field that you've not had any prior experience. And I think sometimes, as you said, Matthew, it's always good to put yourself out there and learn, through that process as well. So that's very encouraging. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. I would say that is curiosity too. If for people here listening to us, I would say that rather not only going out of your comfort zone, but believing in curiosity might bring a lot of passion also in the future.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matthew, for sharing that. And Matthew, moving on to our next question. Can you please tell me, when did you start charityBay along with your co-founder, and what was the inspiration behind this entrepreneurial venture?
Sure. Well, charityBay was founded 1 year ago, although the product was just launched on 2020. It was the first idea, and the core idea was given by my co-founder and friend, Haidar. He was the one that, he has been living in many cities around the world during his whole life. And he realized that here in Australia, there was a particular problem with useful items that were going to hard rubbish and therefore then going to landfill. Items that because of the rain and because of the sun and all the conditions outside, then useful items were just simply damaging the environment. Then he talked to his partner, and then since her partner was working in charities, he did realize, and he was involved also quite deeply involved with charities, and he saw that there was a big lack of resources over there. So then he thought, why not something that has a still value that I'll be willing even to pay some money for those items. Why not, if people are willing to depart out of those items without any financial gain, convert those items into money that goes to those charities that actually need so much funds. So it was the first concept he brought to the table. And then since I was also already working with my own company and we have been friends for quite a while, then we started discussing and I started giving some brainstorm and giving some ideas and kind of giving some shape to it. So therefore, then after discussing, we decided on September 2020, okay, let's start charityBay. We created legally here in Australia our company, and after that, it was just working day and night on that till the moment. Well, till now, we have been working very hard for that.
Excellent, Matthew. And it's really good that you guys found each other, and you had a common goal, and you were able to build that business from scratch. And I think Matthew, I had a look at your website. Let me honestly tell you, that's a beautiful website. It's very clear. The information is not cluttered, and it's easy, I think, for a person who's actually looking at your website to have a pretty good idea about what you guys are doing. So good on you for putting up a really clean and very informative website out there.
Thank you, Tony. And it is still a work in progress. I must admit that it has been so far just not a lot of years working on that. It has been very hard, but at the same time, we know there is some room for improvement. The website, it was not even like this on the beginning. We launched in February, and in February it was a totally different website. It was just more like an MVP. And then we relaunched this website around April, May. So we are aware that we need to continue improvement, in doing some continuous improvement, learning, and the most important, listening to the users and to the people that believe as us on helping the charities and those in need.
Excellent. And that's very encouraging to hear, Matthew. And Matthew, moving on to our next question, who are charityBay's customers?
Well, that's a very interesting question because it's something that we have been discovering during this year. We, as I said, we launched in February, and we were it was like Sunday, 4 in the morning. We're still working. Then we had some hours of sleep. Then on Monday it was like the launch, and we were waiting for thousands of customers. And then it was just 5 users that came there, probably even ourselves just going there. So we were not sure at that moment how to target people that believed as us on changing those useful items into money going to charities. Well, we have been having this journey. We have discovered that it is inside of our nature, inside of human nature, that we want to help. We saw it also in the beginning of the year with the bushfires, how people were like, okay, I want to volunteer, I want to donate items. Many people also donated money, created funds, created events, created a lot of things to help them. And then also here with COVID, although, for example, in Melbourne, where I am, it has been a bit challenging in comparison to the rest of the country. We are aware also that Australia has been on a way better situation than the rest of the world. And we have seen how many people deep down feel that they are way more fortunate than other people and that they want to help. To answer then, we have seen how charity-based users are people that want to discover their power to help others and to help charities. People that sometimes in the past might not have the resources or the money or the cash to donate to charities, but still inside of them, they want to help, even with items or with money or with time or with services that they want to donate and help something close to their heart.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew, for sharing that. And Matthew, moving on to our next question, and I think you will be dwelling a bit more on, from what we were talking in the previous question. So could you please share some insights into charity-based business model, or rather, what is charityBay offering Australians or Australian businesses?
What we do is that we are simply a bridge. We are not heroes. The heroes are the charities that are actually helping and on a daily basis working on the field and helping those who need it the most, and the people that are providing those resources to the charities. We are just a bridge, and we are bridging that gap between the two of them. How we work is that we provide inclusive ways for those people to help the charities. How we allow them to donate items online, and having those items even collected from the doorstep. We allow them to even donate services, to donate money, to get engaged with them, to send them messages, and even to discover them, because sometimes many people are not familiar with the quantity and the people that are actually working on the field. Some of the most known charities are the ones that people know the most, but they're also the charities that are doing a beautiful job. So we are allowing also people to discover them, to filter them, to connect with them, and to help them when they can. And in regards to that, then about our business model is that we are on a commission-based, very tiny commission-based. We are a social corporation where just like all the commission is reinvested into the infrastructure and keep our infrastructure, server, website, and mobile app alive.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Matthew, for sharing that. And it's an interesting business model, isn't it? As you said, you are kind of trying to bridge between Australians who want to actually donate to charities through that process of if they have any furniture or items that they want to actually sell. But most of these days, I think Australians, when they downsize, they take their old furniture and things to salvos. We can take salvos as an example, and then salvos basically sells that to end customers, and then they kind of invest that money into their staff or into their charity activities and things. So in a way, I think charityBay is also more or less doing it in a digital way. You know what I mean? So people are selling products through you, and that product, the price that they get from the end customers, you basically support charities through that, or the customers can do that. So it's interesting that that concept that Salvos probably is doing in the physical realm, you're actually giving a digital face to it. Am I able to get that right from my understanding?
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And since we are introducing a new model, we want also to clarify both for the charities that are actually not selling items, like that for them, they have now the opportunity to get proceeds out of the donation of items, but also to let's say to the salvos or to other charities that operate op shops or let's say front stores where they're selling items, that COVID has allowed us to realize that there is a lot of potential also online, where with charityBay, they could massively reduce their costs and reduce the time that they are allocating to try to get resources and be able to allocate more of those resources and their time into their actual costs. By that, I mean, like many of the op shops, they have to pay for delivery, they have to pay for inventory, they have to pay for the staff, for the rent, for the bills, for the utilities, for everything to be able to sell some of those items. Well, with our model, what we want is, since people want to donate those items, then bridge, let's say, connect them with the buyers directly using our mobile app and our website, and therefore all those costs have been reduced or can be reduced from all those op shops, and then they can use those resources to help those in need, especially now with COVID, that it has been a big social issue growing on how many people need that help.
Excellent. Thank you, Matthew, for sharing that. And Matthew, how is charityBay different to other organizations or businesses working in the same space?
I think that the first thing is to define what is the space where we are, let's say, comparing charityBay. So if we divide those spaces into two, one being current online marketplaces such as Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, even eBay, and another marketplace being like the op shops, people that are actually selling for purpose. We feel that, well, starting with the latter one, like with the op shops, we have created a model where we want to help them, but at the same time have something scalable. So at the moment, we have over 1,000 users, and we have been even sent, like we have allowed the logistics even for people donating items to sell those items to people even in other cities and in other states of the country. So we have been also helping with that logistic, and that keeps on top of the reduction of the cost for the op shops and for the charities that are receiving items. They now are not only confined to their suburb and to their places where they are, but now they have full exposure with an item to the whole country. So that's for one, in terms of potential exposure and this scalability. In regards to the other marketplaces, our main target and our main unique value proposition is that we want people to buy and donate with purpose. Well, sell and buy with purpose. So we want to create an impact, and our marketplace and charityBay is actually just fully founded on impact. We are not going to compete with other marketplaces in saying, our items are or cheaper or more expensive, or our items have this or this or these things. No, it's that with each $10 that you pay with an item with us, 95% of the proceeds are going to a charity. And then you are actually making an impact. So it is more about the social reward and the emotional reward you get by helping others when doing this shopping.
Excellent, Matthew. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I wish you the very best. And Matthew, moving on to our next question: has the current COVID-19 pandemic affected your operations? If yes, what have you done to mitigate its effect? And if no, how were you able to ride the storm?
COVID has affected everyone in many, many, many ways. Personally, emotionally, even mental health, and as well, of course, to all the jobs worldwide. In our case, when we started, our business model was more about people going, like let's say the buyers going directly to collect the items from the donor. But as we are now aware, when the restrictions started in March, and here in Melbourne, we are in September already, and these restrictions are still on, we cannot promote a business model where simply all the transactions rely on someone going outside and going and collecting an item for another place that might be in their suburb, but might be somewhere else. So that was one of the first challenges and where we needed to pivot. So in March, after the restrictions were established, around 1 week after that, we managed to create a relationship with a freight company that was providing contactless delivery. So that was one of the main pivots that we did with the pandemic, allowing people to shop without the need to go and collect the items, as normally it is with Facebook Marketplace, or again, like other marketplaces of secondhand items. And well, that for one. And the second thing also is in terms of creating a new company where we have different people helping us out on the marketing team, on the corporate social responsibility area, building and business development, IT, everything, but everything being confined just to online communications and remote communications. Sometimes, especially when you're starting a company and you need to kind of draw, organize, discuss, brainstorm, it's a bit challenging. But so far, we're very happy with how the process is going, how the progress and everything is going.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matthew. And Matthew, because you mentioned about that delivery company, contactless delivery company that you're partnering with, just out of curiosity, so I would believe the end customer would be bearing the cost of that delivery, isn't it? Is that how it's structured?
Well, yes. In our business model, since there is someone that is donating an item, like the seller is actually donating an item, is not receiving the financial proceeds. What we're establishing is the person buying the item is the one that pays for the cost of the freight. On the beginning, the costs were a bit higher than now, but now we have been partnership also with other bigger organizations, and now it has been like a very reduced cost. And well, something that we feel that since many items start even on 99 cents, it is something appealing for the buyer, since many times they are not paying a full price for an item, then they can pay also for the freight, or when the restrictions are over, if the item is nearby, not in another city, they can also go and collect it.
Excellent. Thank you, Mateo, for sharing that. And Mateo, moving on to our next question. So moving forward, what are your plans for charityBay?
We have a vision of bridging the gap between those who wish they could help and those who do. And by doing that, and actually to get there, what we want is to allow everyone to discover their power to change and to create impact. So moving forward, what we want is to continue providing that awareness, that education, and that positive message to everyone, especially now that many people are even confined, that even if you are at home, you can find some purpose. You can help others. You can help, like you like animals, you can help animals. You like children, you like education. You can actually create a real impact with something super simple, something that you might not be using at home. An unwanted item. 89% of all Australian households have more than 20 unwanted items at home. So we are not asking something massive. What we are asking is for everyone to discover that they can create impact in Australia and also worldwide. Even also shopping, if they don't want to donate an item, there are hundreds and hundreds of items that we're already offering. And everything is changing the lives of the charities here in our community.
Excellent. Thank you, Matthew. That's a very positive thing. And Matthew, moving on to our last question. So what are the life and business lessons that you would like to share with someone who is planning to start a business in Australia?
I would say that, again, done is better than perfect. So do not be afraid to take the risk. Many times you'll fail. Many times you will be wrong. But the only way to discover it is to discover if you were wrong is going to be by just acting, by doing the things. So don't be afraid to do that. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. During this journey, I've seen how, and we have seen all our group, how people really wants to help. And that also includes people that wants to provide advice, people that wants to volunteer, people that wants to promote our cause and also to be part of it. So I'm sure that if for everyone watching this also, if they have something deep down that they want, that they believe in that why, they believe in the passion, and then they can communicate that to someone else, they will for sure find some help. So don't be afraid that then things will be all right. And just with persistence and work hard, that will succeed. It's a beautiful journey.
Excellent, Matthew. That's very encouraging. So two important things you have said, that is, if you're an entrepreneur and you have an idea, just plunge in, more or less. You have to have a plan, and it's good if you have a co-founder and all those kind of things. But do not fear, I think, is that what you're saying? Take that initial step, and that initial step, as you said, it could be an MVP, and then slowly you build it up, as you move forward. And I think, as entrepreneurs, we realize we don't really need to get it perfect the first time around. We might iterate, or we might pivot moving forward. And, 1 year down the line, it might be a completely different service or product, but as long as you start that journey, you are on track. And the other thing you said is ask for help, and I think I was talking to a lady in a similar space, and she said she's been asking a lot of people for help, and some of them do respond, but others don't. But it doesn't matter, as long as you keep on knocking doors. People also would realize that you are actually a person with some passion and drive, and maybe people who might have said no to you initially might turn back and say, maybe I should give this person a chance. So continue knocking and asking people for help. And let me be honest with you. I think in Australia, there are some wonderful people out there who are always willing to volunteer their time, to support a worthy cause. So, thank you for sharing those wonderful points, Mateo. Thank you for your time. And, I wish you and your co-founder of charityBay the very best into the future. And thank you, Mateo, once again.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for having me. And I also wish you the best. Thanks for continue helping the Australian community with these interviews and with encouragement. I think that there is very helpful, especially now, to learn all the skills that you are teaching us. Thanks for that, Tony.
Excellent. All the best, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.